Have you ever noticed how some people stay calm, even when their whole life is falling apart? Not because they're lucky, not because life is easier for them, but because one moment, one voice, or one small story changed something inside them. Today, you'll meet a woman who lived through that shift, and one unexpected conversation that completely changed the direction of her life. In a small, peaceful town, surrounded by wide fields and tall oak trees, lived an elderly woman everyone called Ms. Grace. She didn't drive anymore. She didn't travel. She lived alone in a small house with a front porch that creaked whenever she rocked in her chair. But her smile? That smile could calm a storm. Neighbors often said, "If your heart is heavy, go sit with Ms. Grace. You'll walk out lighter." One afternoon, a young mother named Lila came to her door. Her eyes were red from crying. She was working 2 jobs, raising 2 kids alone, while her husband searched for work in another state. Weeks had passed with no call, no money, and fear had begun to crush her. Ms. Grace opened the door gently and said, "My child, sit with me for a moment." Lila sat down, the weight of her world finally spilling out. "I feel like everything is falling apart," she whispered. "What if he doesn't find work? What if he never comes home? What if I'm not strong enough?" Ms. Grace held her trembling hands. Then, with that soft, steady voice she was known for, she said, "Lila, let me tell you a story. Long ago, in a distant valley, there was a shepherd boy who owned almost nothing. A torn blanket, an old flute, and a small mud hut. No parents, no siblings, barely enough food. One evening, exhausted and hungry, he sat by a quiet lake and wept. An elderly traveler saw him and asked, "Why are you crying, child?" The boy replied, "Fate gave me nothing. How can I be happy?" The traveler said, "Look at the lake, the mountains, the sky. All this beauty is yours every day, yet you only see what you lack. If you stare at the darkness, even the brightest light seems dim. But if you notice the light, even small joys shine." Slowly, the boy wiped his tears. He listened to the wind, watched the glittering water, noticed birds returning to their nests, and for the first time in years, he smiled. His life didn't get richer in gold, but it became richer in peace. Ms. Grace looked at Lila. The boy's world didn't change overnight, but his heart did, and that small shift allowed him to face each day with courage. Lila whispered, "Do you really think a change in my thoughts can change my life?" Ms. Grace held her hand. "Yes. When you wake and tell yourself, 'Today will be kind to me,' your steps become steadier. You'll find the strength to care for your child, to hope, to wait." Lila nodded, feeling lighter. "I'll try. I'll begin with one good thought." "That," Ms. Grace said, smiling, "is how every journey begins." Lila left Ms. Grace's house with a warmth she hadn't felt in weeks. Every morning, she repeated the mantra, "Today will bring light." She began noticing small joys, her child's laughter, the soft hum of birds, sunlight spilling into her home. Her fear slowly lifted, replaced by quiet strength. 3 weeks later, a letter arrived. Her hands shook as she opened it. It was from her husband. He'd found a job, a steady one. He was sending money home and visiting soon. Lila cried again, but this time from relief, not fear. She ran straight to Ms. Grace's porch. Ms. Grace opened the door, smiling as if she already knew. Lila hugged her tightly. "I kept saying it," she whispered. "Every morning, and everything changed. Ms. Grace brushed her cheek gently. "My child, good things often walk toward those who stay hopeful long enough to see them arrive." Word spread through the town like sunlight breaking through clouds. People came from every street, single parents, overwhelmed workers, lonely seniors. Ms. Grace told each of them the same thing: think thoughts that lift you, and life will rise with you. Slowly, the town felt warmer, kinder, more connected, all because one woman shared one story at the exact moment someone needed it. If this story touched your heart, give it a like. Share your feelings in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that bring hope, courage, and a new way of seeing life.